Fellas, we are back for week 2 of the JJDL. I have a mic now, so you can actually hear my goofy voice clearly. So that's awesome, I guess. This week, we're up against Lost Lottle, and he has a very scary team, but he's a really cool guy. I've talked to him a few times. I talked to him during the drafting process, and he asked me what I thought of his team, and I was like, I don't want to fight your team. And here we are, we're playing in week 2. So he has a team of Urshifu, Terra Goldengo, Gliscor, Primarina, Ogerpon Hearthflame, Cyclozar, Monkey Dory, Araquanid, Rotom Frost, and Terra Turtwig. So looking at his team, our matchup is pretty buns. We don't have a lot to pressure Pokemon like Gliscor and Primarina very well. Primarina is going to be a great check into some of our higher end Pokemon like Darkrai, Landorus, and Cinderace to some extent, depending on items and what moves it wants to be clicking. Ogerpon is always a scary mon. Hearthflame hits really hard, and Ivy Cudgel's a dumb, stupid move. Urshifu is probably going to be Scarf here, and Darkrai should probably always be Scarf, but definitely something that we have to consider. It's going to be an annoying-ass momentum bot for his team. Araquanid might come if he doesn't respect the entire Tatsugiri, but if he does respect it, we probably won't see it, but we have ways to deal with it, even though, as you'll see here, we don't have the Tatsugiri. He has Terra Gold, which is always going to be annoying. Hazard blocking with that Gliscor, letting it get up its hazards and keep them there. Always a annoying mon, and Terra just makes it even more annoying because it can be an offensive threat. It can just change its type to whatever. In Mox, we saw a lot of flying. We saw some Ghost, so types like that are probably expected. I was thinking if he was crazy, he could bring like Terra Fairy, not Fairy, what's it? What was I thinking? Poison. I was like, what if you brought Terra Poison? That'd be funny. I don't think it would really do much, but it'd be funny. I thought about it for a bit. Yeah, but we do actually have some good things going for us. Oh, he has Monkey Dory too, but Monkey Dory's not going to come because if it does, great. Crown can handle it and get free setup on it. So that'll be fun. But we have some things going for us. Firstly, we don't have to worry so much about Goldengo hazards block because we actually have Cinderace, which is the one mon that can get around Goldengo's ability when removing hazards. So he probably won't bring hazard stack. All of our Pokemon that Primarina want to switch in on have poison type moves, like Darkrai having Sludge Bomb, Cinderace having Gunk Shot, even Pokemon that we didn't bring, let me think of one. Tatsugiri could Terra Poison and then just hit it with a Terra Blast. Iron Crown can Psyshock it, which is cool. I think that was really it, though. Landorus Earthquake does a ton into it, which is nice. So Primarina, at least we can pressure it, even though it's going to be an annoying pivot for him to have. Ogerpon is really scary into our team, but we have Cinderace, which can be a good offensive pivot into it. I guess I should just start the team breakdown and then just show what our sets are for before I go too in depth. So firstly, we have our WinCon here. This is the first set that we put on the team, and it's just going to be our Booster Speed Terra Flying Iron Crown, which Terra Blast, Tachyon Cutter, Psyshock, and Calm Mind. Pretty basic set. We're going to try and break his team. The game plan is to break down some of the bulkier Pokemon early and then bring Crown in and try and beat as many and just beat everything. That's it. If we get some chip on the gold, we just beat everything. We just have to get 2 Calm Minds on something and then just win. There are plenty of targets that we can get 2 Calm Minds on. Specifically, Gliscor without Toxic can be one. And then we have to play a mind game with it. Are we going to Terra? Are we not going to Terra? Goldengo, in a pinch, we can get one on Goldengo and the Ogerpon. Cyclozar should be good setup opportunity for us. Primarina can be a setup opportunity. Rotom Frost, if it comes for some reason, is a setup opportunity, and same for Monkey Dory. But I don't believe Rotom or Monkey Dory will come, but it is good to know that we have Primarina and Cyclozar that are likely to come and likely to give us a setup opportunity. Psyshock lets us break an AV Primarina if we don't manage to get rid of the AV early. Terra Blast Flying is here. It makes us immune to Earthquake from Gliscor, but also it actually gives us something to pressure the Urshifu and the Ogerpon pretty easily. Even if we can't get 2 Calm Minds and we just have to use this thing to break, 1 Calm Mind should let Terra Blast kill them, which is great. It also lets us hit Araquanid, but Araquanid is probably going to be an early game mon if it comes, so hopefully Iron Crown won't have to see it. So very basic set. This is how we're going to win the game. We have Cinderace, a very basic set. Again, this thing is here for the hazard control aspect. Even though he might not bring heavy hazards, we still have to respect it and bring the Court Change set. We're actually running Weird Speed to outspeed a Scarf Primarina, Max Speed Timid, because in a mock, that actually cost me the game, because I tried to Court Change the Sticky Webs away, and I got caught with the Surf while speed creeping Ogerpon, and then Crown couldn't get its booster speed because it lost speed with Sticky Webs, so that blew. I was like, oh no. So I have to respect that at least, kind of. Pyro Ball, U-Turn, Gunk Shot, just hits everything pretty hard. Basic set. Gunk Shot's nice for Primarina. Next up we got Darkrai. So this is our lead and kind of just a weird breaker in this game. Knockoff is here on the lead set. I think, yeah, Wagon Fruit mentioned Knockoff to me. We were originally Nasty Plot, and Wagon mentioned Knockoff because I was doing a mock and I kept getting popped by a lead Cyclizar, a Toxic Gliscor, and he had a Kebia Primarina, so I couldn't break through it with Sludge Bomb even. So I was like, okay, he's put me on to Knockoff here, and putting this in the lead slot because it can counter the Gliscor, the Cyclizar, and it can catch Primarina immediately turn 1 and knock off either an Assault Vest or a Kebia Berry, whichever item it wants to hold. Even if it wants to hold something else like Random Scarf, we have that as well, which is great. Dark Pulse for Stab, hits a lot of his team good. Ice Beam for the Gliscor and the Cyclizar, as you mentioned, and Sludge Bomb for the Primarina as well. His team actually doesn't have great Poison type switch-ins to begin with, so Poison Spam is actually quite good into him. As you'll notice, we have 3 Pokemon that have... Ooh, wrong thing. We have 3 Pokemon that have strong poison moves here. And I guess while we're here, we'll just go and talk about Okidogi. We are a Payapa Berry set. Okidogi originally was here as our Urshifu check, as we can switch in even on Banded. And if it has then Headbutt, we can actually live it with our Payapa Berry and then threaten back with a Drain Punch. Knock is here just as a consistent move. It can also catch Gold, of course. Gunk Shot is just Gunk Shot, and then Ice Punch for Gliscor. This is a really good set this week, I think. We're running enough speed to outspeed. I believe this is Modest Max Speed Prim, and I believe our attack invested here lets us knock into Gunk Shot, will kill max HP Araquanid, I believe it was. That's what we calced for. And then max HP, and this defense lets just live Wicked Blows from Banded Urshifu here. I was really confident in this set. I really like this set. I'm excited to use Okidogi this season. This is actually the first week that we get to bring it. I'm glad we get to use it so early. Next up, we've got our Landers here. We are just a simple Rocky Helmet set. We are a really fast Rocky Helmet set. We outspeed Adamant Urshifu and Timid Golden-Go. So we can punish them pretty hard with Earthquake. We have U-Turn, Taunt for the Gliscor. Gliscor is like a really annoying guy this game. Spamming Toxic, getting up hazards. Even Earthquake, we don't have great resist for it, so it can even be an offensive threat in the end game, in an end game situation. So having Taunt for that, stopping it from doing its thing early is great. And Rocks are here just because Rocks are really good into his team. Any team that has an Ogerpon, you want to get Rocks up on as quickly as possible. Earthquake, of course, just stab, blah 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 blah. You get the idea. This stat spread is for Ogerpon and Urshifu. Yeah, we can just tank hits from them pretty well. Helmet is to switch in on all those physical attackers as well. He has like random ones like Flip Turn Primarina and Monkey Dory that I guess could have U-Turn as well. And if we're feeling especially bold, we can come in on those moves and just punish them a little bit. But we probably won't, but it's nice to have that just in the back of our mind as well. Last up, we've got Ursaring, another Pokemon coming off the bench this week. Eviolite Guts. So this set was added to the team. We had a couple options in last slot. We had Driftblim. We had Ogerpon at one point. And we noticed that we were losing to Gliscor, Primarina, and Golden-Go, and once again, Wagon Fruit coming in with the clutch and telling me that it looked like Ursaring could actually handle all 3 of them once individually. And I was like, oh wow, you're absolutely right. So we have Facade. That way, if we start seeing Toxic Spam, we can at least force him to second guess or just get Guts Boost. If he decides to bring in the Primarina, we have enough Spadeft where we can tank any, I think it's a 3-hit KO with Moonblast. It might be a 4-hit, it's like a chance to 3-hit KO, I believe. And then Body Slam if we're not poisoned, but Facade for poison can hit that. Golden Go, we can tank special hits from that. We have Shadow Claw for it, so that way we don't have to play around Terra with Earthquake, or if the Gliscor decides to come in, we don't have to play around that either. We can just Shadow Claw it and get some sort of damage on it to pressure it. So again, I don't love our matchup here, but I think our build is quite good. I think I ran a lot of mocks, I did a lot of prep, I did a lot of talking to my fellows here, and I really wanted to get a win this week, get ourselves back on the board. So I really tried hard to come up with a good team here. As long as Crown wins, Crown should just win. This is our magnum opus. This is how we win this game. If Crown can't win, we lose the game. That's what it's going to come down to. Let's hope we don't get hacked like we did in week 1, which wasn't too big of a deal. There was a lot of misplays week 1 as well, such as not future sighting first, so I actually put myself in a position where the flinch mattered a lot, but I could have actually minimized the risk there. So just something that I have to learn going forward. Yeah, I'm going to also try and improve my commentary this week. I'm trying to get better at this. A little bad at this so far, but hopefully this week will be a lot better. So I'll cut back once we get into the game, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Okay, so I am an absolute dingus and forgot that on my recording software, after I record a video, I actually have to hit save, and did not click that and then immediately click X because this game was insane, and afterwards I was just not thinking. So we're gonna have to do post-com, which is sad because this game was hilarious in the moment, because there were several points where it was just me dying laughing, not because some unfortunate things happened this game for your boy. So I would definitely want to do post-com. So immediately looking at this, we see that his Golden Go is Terra Water, which was something that I didn't consider, but looking at it now, I think that was a really great bring on his part, because it really pressured the Cinderace, as well as it gave a way to hit Landorus really hard if he decided to bring Terra Blast. Excuse me. So looking at his team, we didn't see a Araquanid, so always leading Darkrai here. That was always the game plan. Catches that Gliscor, and we can do what we do turn 1, as he decides to lead Gliscor, and we lead Darkrai. So the game plan was always turn 1, click Knock. This either A, knocks off the Gliscor's Toxicorp unless it protects, or B, as he switches to Primarina, we knock off its Assault Vest or Cassib Berry that we were expecting to see, right? If he goes Urshifu too, I guess that also technically covers that, which is another potential swap in, because, resist Dark Pulse and could punish with like Scarf. You get the idea. So we can knock off that thing Scarf, which would definitely be nice for the later on in the game. Knock was always our click here. He goes straight out into Primarina, which is what we wanted to see, and we click Knock, getting rid of Leftovers. So we didn't expect Leftovers necessarily, but it was always a potential bring here. So this turn I'm looking and I'm like, okay, this is the exact line that I was like prepping for. So I knew automatically we go straight on to Ursaring. This is our like general special check here. He comes in and crits. Turn 2, we get a crit mid blast. And I'm like, okay, that kind of blows, because now we're worse off into Gliscor and Golden Go later on in the game. But that's fine. I believe this turn I'm thinking here, I'm like, okay, I want to catch the Golden Go coming in here and just click Shadow Claw, which I believe I do. Yes, he goes for flip turn and crits again. Now this is really bad, as Ursaring cannot come in on Gliscor anymore. 2 Earthquakes from non-invested Gliscor will guaranteed kill the Ursaring at this point. So that was very unfortunate. Also, it's just not a check to Prim anymore because we can't switch it in. So I'm like, okay, that really blows. I still get my attack off here. He goes Ogre Pond, and I was scratching my head. I was like, huh, I did not really think about that one. And then here, we just hit it for 27%. So I'm like, okay, this is bad. I know I can't let this thing Trailblaze here, because it like stay in and just try and go for Body Slam here. Because if he Trailblazes then SDs, we're cooked. So I'm like, okay, I have to go Cinderace here. This is my offensive pivot into this thing, and I'm really glad I did, because it went straight for Trailblaze. I'm like, okay, thank the Lord that I clicked Cinderace here. So here, I'm looking at the calc. Pyro Ball is a 75% chance to kill the Ogerpon from this range, but it catches Golden Go and hits Gliscor hard when it comes in here. But Gunk Shot's 80% accuracy kills this thing. So 80% over 75% was my logic. So here I'm locking in Gunk Shot. He goes hard out into Gliscor, which is fine by me. We kind of were expecting this thing to come in. Get some chip on it. This activates its Toxic Orb here. Yep. And then Poison Heal. So here's where I'm starting to realize that those crits were pretty meaningful, as now we can't go Ursaring here on the Toxic. So I'm like, okay, I have to go Landers here and risk the Toxic. But I don't know if he would be crazy enough to click it on Poison Cinderace here. But he might. It might have just been his play. But I have to go Landers here and go for that taunt. And we get the play right, as here, he clicks Earthquake. Now I'm like, okay, my play is to always taunt. I click it instantly, I don't even think about it. I'm clicking taunt, no Toxic, no hazards. That's always what we want to do. Taunted immediately, and it goes for Spikes. So I'm like, okay, it's Spikes, not Rocks, which is cool, fine by me. I consider going for Rocks here, because I think this thing is going to switch out. I decide that I want to U-turn and get nice momentum here on whatever he switches out to, because this turn I think he is going to go either Primarina or he is, yeah, I think he's just gonna go Primarina, and I'm just trying to bring in the Okie Dokie here. But he decides to stay in. I'm like, okay, that means he has Ice Fang for sure, or he's clicking U-turn. I do the calc, I'm looking, I'm like, okay, Darkrai doesn't take shit here, so I go hard Darkrai on Ice Fang, 11%, and we get frozen. And I'm like, shit. Okay, this is awesome, actually. Darkrai was supposed to be like a big wall breaker that could like help out versus Primarina, and this Monkey Dory that we see that we didn't necessarily prep for, but Darkrai was always going to shut it down, which now we can't. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm looking at the calc, I'm like, okay, U-turn shouldn't do too much to me, so I can risk trying to thaw out here and just go for Dark Pulse, because even if he goes Primarina, we can just sack the Ursaring and then go from there. He clicks U-turn. We're still frozen, and he crits. And at this point, I'm defeated. I'm just like, you know what a season this has been. Week 1, we get flunched. Week 2, we get crit, freeze, crit within 9 turns. I'm like, okay, this is awesome, actually. But I'm not like mad. I'm not mad. I'm not trying to come off as mad or like be Mr. Lost Lotto. I really like Mr. Lost Lotto. He's a very nice fella. This is just an unfortunate game for me. And that's just Mons. That's just how it goes sometimes. And this is honestly the funniest game ever to me. The fact that all of this went wrong so quickly, I was just like, in chat, I hit the LMAO because I don't know how to feel at this point. I was a little on tilt at this point. You can see I said, okay, man. It's Urshifu. My play here, I think, is to always go Okie Dokie. I knew he was going to U-turn, so I almost went Landorus. That's probably my better play, but I think I just go Okie Dokie here. I do, in fact. This baits in Monkey Dory. And at this point, I'm like, damn. If I had Ursaring healthy, I could bring that in for free. I could even knock this thing, but I'm thinking at this turn, I'm like, okay. My only way to get out of this is Crown at this point. My booster speed, Calm Mind Crown at this point. So, I'm sitting here. I got Okie Dokie on my screen. I'm like, okay. I'm going to go balls to the wall, all in on Iron Crown here. So I'm going to sack Ursaring, go Crown, and then Calm Mind twice, and just hope that I can kill the Golden Go in 2. And that. So here's what could go wrong in this play. Golden Go could come in, be bulky, and live. Urshifu could come in and have Sucker Punch, and then Iron Crown will die to that. Monkey Dory at +2 has a chance to actually live Tachyon Cutter. It's a 68% chance to Oko here. If he has 64 defensive investment here, which I ran the calc in the original game. I ran the calc at this point. I'm like, okay, it can have 64 EVs to work with to outspeed max speed Iron Crown, which is what it would creep here. That's what I did this turn, and I'm like, okay, my out is to go Crown here and just balls to the wall, click the button. Primarina is weakened. I don't have any other plays. I can't break anymore. I just have to get in my win con now. So I go Ursaring on the sack. It takes 24%, dies to Sledge Wave, and then here I go hard Crown. We see the booster speed. I lock Calm Mind, and he clicks Parting Shot. I completely forgot this thing got Parting Shot. I'm going to be honest with you. I just did not think about it. I did not prep enough for this thing, for sure. I definitely was under prep for the Monkey Dory. I just kind of wrote it off because like Iron Crown deals with it. It's not a big deal. But it was kind of being a pain in the ass a little bit in this game. So we see a parting shot. Womp womp. Goes Gliscor, which is great. This is exactly what I wanted to see here. So here I see, okay, barring freeze or crit, I can just deal with Ice Fang and just Calm Mind in front of this thing all day. So I Terra Flying, and I Calm Mind. Lotto does get the play correct and go for Ice Fang. No freeze, goes hard Golden Go. And I'm like, okay, this is the turn that decides the game. Does Tachyon Cutter kill him? And I crit. And just to clarify, I did look at his paste, and I do not believe that crit mattered. I'm pretty sure. Let me double check on my phone real quick, just so I don't mess up the recording. But I do want to check while we're here. Man, I wish this was live comm because it was a very funny live comm game. I was like, man, aw man, again. Let's see. Yeah, there was Golden Go is max HP. Yeah, so it never lived. It did never live this. So yeah, it was always a guaranteed 2 KO, so the crit didn't matter. But I was happy to see the crit. Make It Rain comes off, and we swallow it. I'm super happy. But eject pack, very cool brain. So we see Primarina come out here. I'm like, okay, I'm locked in. I just gotta click buttons and hope that I can beat 6. So it's Crown versus the world right now. Psyshock kills a Primarina. Awesome. This turn was really long, and I was like, okay, if he doesn't go Shifu, that means he doesn't have Sucker Punch. I also was thinking at this point, I was like, okay, Shifu would have to have Zen Headbutt for Okidoki or Iron Head for Diancie at this point. And I'm like, okay, I think I'm fine. It only comes down to if Monkey Dory lives this with the 64 special defense investment and then poisons me. It is the only chance we have to lose this at this point. Because if he poisons, he can go Gliscor, sack, Golden Go, sack, and then just try and win with the Ogre Pawn, which it definitely could at this point. He goes Ogre Pawn here. And I'm like, uh-oh. I don't think he's going to go for it. We kill this with Terra Blast. Out comes Shifu. No Sucker Punch. And it dies. So Shifu drops. Monkey Dory comes out. Tachyon gets to roll. So he actually doesn't have 64 investment on this thing. It is in its defense stat, which makes sense. I did think that. I ran the calc for Psyshock and Tachyon, and Tachyon had a higher % chance to kill if he was SPDEF invested than if Psyshock did if it was defensive investment. So Tachyon was always my play there. And then from here, you know, he goes Golden Go, we Tachyon, it drops. And then out comes Gliscor, and then we Tachyon, and it drops for game. So, and we crit last turn. So this was a very unfortunate game, both for me and my opponent. It's a very fun game, though. I'm not gonna lie to you. It was a very funny game. Iron Crown got to show off exactly why we picked it as a Terra Captain and why it is the best Terra Captain on the board. Not actually, oh, my bad. Picking up 6 kills this game. I think that might make it kill leader. It's up there now, so that's high. We are now 1-1. We are +4 differential, so we definitely were able to bounce back this week. I'm really happy about that. Good game to my opponent, Lost Lotto. His build was great. He brought exactly what we were expecting. The Monkey Dory caught me off guard. It was a really fun game. I'm glad. I'm really proud of how we played it up until we played around it really well. I think we played around the hacks well by getting the crown in and then just setting up, realizing that was our out and taking advantage of the fact that the Monkey Dory was in. We kind of caved once we saw some hacks happen. There's some unfortunate hacks, but we didn't lose any differential really. We actually came out with higher differential than I was expecting to. I really wish that the live comm survived because it was a really funny commentary because I was like so positive and he was like, man, we're doing great. And then Darkrai got frozen and then crit. And I was just like, oh, okay, awesome. I didn't really know how to feel at that point. I was just kind of hanging out. But it was a good game. It was a really good game. I'm glad that Crown got to show off what it did best. Shout out to Darkrai for doing nothing. That's my goat right there. Ursaring got to show up, and it would have done really well. It did really well. No, it did really well. I'm glad that we did the mocks. I definitely would have been more flustered if we didn't, and also I probably would have lost to Ogre Pawn. Straight up, I would have been in a much worse position. So knowing that Cinderace could always come in on it really helps out there. Actually, there was one play where it could go wrong. I think Tantrum actually did kill if he had it, so that would have been rough for us. But I am proud of that game. Once again, GG's to my opponent, Lost Lottle. I hope he is a very scary team. He's going to make playoffs, so we will likely see him again. We do have some backup sets. As I mentioned in a team builder, we considered some other Pokemon, and there was another Crown set, another Darkrai. There were 2 other Darkrai sets that we considered. Okidogi had some different sets, and Landers had some different sets in the builder. Man, that was a crazy game. That was a crazy game. I thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys next week. We're going to be up against Ursulon and his wacky little rain team. And, man, I don't know how we're going to do in that matchup. He's a very great player. He's a good buddy of mine. And his team's scary. But we're gonna probably bring Crown and win. That's my game plan for the season, is just bring Crown as much as possible and win as much as possible. It's gonna be awesome. Thank you guys for watching, and see you next time.